See, are we actually live? Give this a second to see if we're live or not. Or if it's just a fake start. Usually at 30 seconds, we'll know if it's a real live or not. Wait and see. All right, I think we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Let me give you guys a bicep shot before we get started. Oh, biceps. All right, quick reminder for those of you who come into here, click the like. Also, if you guys will go down and follow my Facebook page, the one that is linked in the description under every video, it would be greatly appreciated. Let's go there, give me a follow there, and start engaging my fitness content there also. I would greatly appreciate it. It would show your support for my work. Thank you so much. All right, topic that I never thought I would say, because there have been times when I was critical of Dorian Yates, who I have actually met, by the way. Actually seems like a pretty chill dude. But I used to always say, well, Dorian was the result of a specific substance being added into bodybuilding culture. And then I pointed out his training method. Sure, it worked, but he had a lot of injuries. But then the thing that I realized, I don't think it was the training method that caused all the injuries. The more I look at it, the longer I coach year after year after year, hundreds of clients at this point, I've realized some things with training response, and I've observed things and talked to other coaches and looked at evidence. And I've come to realize Dorian was way, way more brilliant than I gave him credit for. And so again, it's one of those cases where I need to step back and look at criticism I gave and go, maybe some of that criticism of that wasn't warranted. And Dorian Yates really was one of the greats of bodybuilding, who absolutely introduced some things with training. And quite frankly, the guy was brilliant. And it's in the approach. It is with that high amount of intensity that he brought to training. Because as I've observed over the years, when I looked back and I realized when I was younger, the guys who emulated his training had the best physiques. They were thicker. They were harder. Like the guys I even knew at the gyms, they had great results. And I've pointed that out before. Seeing guys who had better physiques, 25 years ago, guys I knew had better physiques back then who were 40 years old, who have better physiques than I do right now and have better physiques than any of these evidence-based high volume guys, all of them. Some just local guys at the gym who train this way, emulated stuff like Dorian, who's working out 45 minutes 3 or 4 times a week and going home. So I've got to give credit for that. And the same thing, like my workouts, even incorporating some of that, where I'm only doing about 6 really, really hard work sets per muscle group. And I've been throwing in some rest pause and stuff. I've noticed I actually feel really good from it. It's totally manageable on recovery, but I still feel like I get great stimulus. And I'm not saying I'm imitating what Dorian Yates brought to the table. I don't want to go there and make that claim. But some of the style, yeah. But when I look at it, it is the best way to ensure that you are getting muscle growth off of fairly low volumes. And people simply spend more time than they need in the gym unless they are specifically pursuing conditioning, meaning they are lifting weights as a form of general physical preparedness. But just for gaining muscle, it absolutely works. Absolutely works. And his methods of taking stuff kind of to that bleeding edge all the time, and even doing the extra intensity type methods, especially things like rest pause, it works. It's viable. And we saw it with DC training even back in the day too. It came out of that. How many guys, when I was younger, early on, were doing DC training and they were just beasts, right? So again, credit where credit is due, but let's get over to some of these things. Why are you guys asking questions and not clicking the like button? Dan, how come all you guys viewing aren't clicking the like button? You guys need to hit that button. Come on now. In the meantime, I'm going to get over to Dan's question. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, brother. So thank you for that like. I'm going to answer your question now. You got a couple of them. Hey, Jason, do you think heavy assistance movement should be used on conjugate for a combat athlete or just as a max then move into hypertrophy? Oh, honestly, for combat athletes, I wouldn't do assistance for the big lifts. I really wouldn't. I would focus on just hypertrophy and speed work. Like I would not think, hey, I need to do some 5-rep sets of rack pulls because of where I stick on the deadlift. Now, I think if you're a power lifter, you need to worry about that. And even for general size and strength, you can do some assistance work. I don't have an issue with that. Okay. But I think that for a combat athlete, I would go exclusively max work, speed work, and then just get jacked with the hypertrophy. That's it. Next thing, Mike Israel keeps saying sets of 5 to 10 are best for athletes in non-strength sports and just focusing on the big main lifts with minimal accessories. I'm confused. Is conjugate a better way to go? Is that what Mike is saying? I thought Mike was pushing this whole crazy high volume, ridiculous 25 set of muscle group thing. What's happening here? I'm not aware of him saying that. But then again, I do these different methods too. I do some conjugates for some guys if that's what they really want these days. And then I tend to do just heavy work and hypertrophy work for most of my athletes. And then if they need sport specific stuff, we do sport specific lifts to carry over to their sport. All right. All right. Rondo says, any older person training who is focused on health and longevity should prioritize volume and conditioning ILO. I don't know that they should prioritize volume. I think they could train similar to like I do if they wanted, and then do cardio. I mean, if that's what we mean by conditioning. No, I don't think they need to focus on volume per se. Now, there can be health benefits to volume. People with certain medical conditions can absolutely benefit. Dan says he is pushing that high volume stuff for bodybuilders. However, he does have a BJJ strength training video on BJJ Fanatic where he says this 5 to 10 reps thing. I'm kind of inclined to agree there then. I mean, Dan, I am not aware of him taking that position, but what you put there doesn't sound unreasonable to me either as a coach. BF, I'm not going to discuss pews because of YouTube's guidelines. Sorry. I'm not even going to say the word. Now, that being said, obviously, if you follow me at all, you know that I do Warhammer. And you know that I play guitar. This is very well documented on my channel and social media, both of these. All right. But yeah, those are my other hobbies. I mean, obviously I have the other one, but it will never be discussed on this platform again. Can a natural lifter keep most of their muscle when cutting down? Yeah, as long as they cut intelligently and correctly. What's up, coach? Should we be grinding on the last rep in our sets? How do you define grinding? Do you find grinding the way I did in some of my work sets on today's vlog, or do you find grinding as cheating and swinging and your form breaking down all over the place? I yell at my clients for breaking their form down. I don't care how heavy it gets. If you can't lift it, then let go of it. If you can't lock it on the bench, let it come straight down and hit the pins, or let your spotter take it. Same thing on a squat. You should never break your form down just because you're reaching failure. Right? Should you be grinding on last sets? Yeah. Should it slow down? Should it be harder? As long as form doesn't break. Nick says, how to train long head of the triceps and bringing the bar behind my head during skull crushers bothers my shoulder. Do rope press downs then. Dan, I don't have an answer to that because it sounds like it's splitting hairs, but because I am not looking at what you're doing, I'm not assessing your fatigue management, I'm not seeing what you have going on, I am not comfortable giving you an answer to that question. Right? And I think that's a completely fair answer on my part because it's not a either or. It is very specific to what you're doing, what you enjoy, and what's going on with your personal fatigue management. Marco put, Paul Carter is a low volume guy and people following his advice get significantly better results than people following Mike Israel's junk volume stuff. Paul and Mike don't like each other, by the way. Paul Carter's people get results. BFEI, that is a thing on YouTube. Chris says, Coach Blaha, glad I could make it early today, baby. Zachary, are you able to execute sweep arpeggios on the guitar? Is very difficult for me too. I am not quite there yet. I am sad to say that while my skills have been improving and I've continued to practice and get better over time, I'm going to need more work before I can do sweep arpeggios. Fair enough. Thanks, Jason. You still prefer lighter speed work like Winning uses? Yeah, for athletes. For powerlifters, I like it heavier. For non-powerlifters, I like that light speed work. For fighters, I like that light work. I tend to agree with Winning on that. Are you a fan of wrist rollers? No. I don't see the point. How exhaustive is being an online coach? You have to put in long hours. I was a personal trainer for another fitness, so I was thinking of side. Rondo, you have to answer your own question. That's not you didn't ask me a yes or no question. It's not how exhaustive or how many long hours you put in. How many clients do you have and how many hours are you willing to put in? You're asking the wrong question. That's like asking, how long does it take to jog? You see what I mean? How long does it take to jog, Rondo? Is it exhausting and do you have to put in a lot of long hours to jog? Well, I guess that depends on how many hours a week you're choosing to jog. That is completely dependent upon what you are choosing to do. I mean, if you only have one client, it's not exhausting and you won't be putting in long hours. If you have 30 or 40, well, it's going to be a different story. Thoughts on spider curls? They're a bicep exercise that focuses on the shortened position of bicep. That's about all I think about them. Do triceps become more of a limiting factor on high rep sets of bench versus 1 rep max, or is it the same? I personally think it's more likely to become a limiting factor on a 1 rep max depending upon the person. I heard Wendler say you don't really need much heavy work at all to get strong. He said just focus on good bar speed and getting jacked. He's right. I mean, you don't have to do that much heavy work. Couple sets a week, as long as you're getting jacked. And like you said, I agree completely with that statement. So whether Wendler said that or not, I don't know. But if he did say it or not, I kind of agree with what you just wrote. So if he said it, then yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Wendler. Rondo, there is no answer to your question. Rondo, I can tell you're definitely have not tried online coaching. So you're looking for answers that I don't have. Now, if you'd like to do a consultation, I would be more than happy to discuss with you how to run your coaching business with your paid hour. I've done it before. Sign up, I can do it. But there is no answer to your question. How much average hours do you need for the average client? Will you give me an idea of how many I could take? There is no average. So you see the services I offer, go read my packages. That is going to vary from client to client. Just the services you see me offering, I literally have clients who give me $300 and I put 30 to 45 minutes a month in for that one client. Okay. That's one extreme. I have clients who need 2 hours of work a week. That's 8 hours a month. You do the math on that. That's not that great per hour. It's okay. Because that's what they need from me to get what we need to get for them. Let's go get rid of Chris. You'll question my business model. You can get your ass out of here. You act like a troll half the time anyways. That's what I think. Coach Martin Gooden says, good evening from the UK. Well, good evening to you too, brother. All right. My back says I always pause on the bench because it's a competition lift. Do you need to be paused on incline, or can we just do control, touch, and go? Honestly, I feel like I get good results by pausing on the incline. I mean, you can do a very soft touch and go as long as it's controlled. You're probably not going to see much difference. I do kind of prefer pausing on the incline. I could make the case that it really is personal choice, though. Rondo, I don't have any coaching certificates, though. Oh, that's a good thing. You don't have to unlearn any of the bullshit that was in the certificate. All right. Dan says, yeah, he actually made an article in 2022 suggesting athletes should be putting on primary focus on building muscle mass and small amount of heavy work. The article is called Build Muscle. I've said the same thing for years, Dan. So I think he and I are largely on the same page there. All right. Do you prescribe high rep bodyweight dips for clients that don't feel discomfort? Not really these days. I prescribe dips for clients who tell me, Coach, I really love dips and I want to do them. That's my criteria. Let me state that again. My criteria for prescribing dips to clients is when the client approaches me and says, Coach, I really, really, really love dips. Can I please, 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 pretty please do them? That is my criteria for putting dips in a program. If they don't ask me pretty please 3 times, I'm never going to give them dips. That's the magic words. I got to say pretty, pretty, pretty please. Can I please have dips? That is my criteria. They have to beg for them. And if they love them that much, I will prescribe bodyweight dips in their program because they love them and to make them happy. I would rather them bench press. Opinions on standing overhead press for aesthetics and strength. I enjoy the lift. I'm not sure. I mean, it can have its place for certain parts of your aesthetics, the upper chest and everything. And if you enjoy doing it, it's a good lift. It's not a necessary lift by any means. On a conjugate, would you keep the accessory work at 10 plus reps for a fighter then? Maybe it depends on what's going on, but oftentimes, yeah, especially if they need more conditioning. Your stream goes well with the music from Space Engine. I don't know what that means, but I hope that's a good thing. If you had to pick someone from YouTube Fitness to coach you, who would you pick? Myself. Maximum, let me explain how this works. Some other person is not going to tell me how to lift weights. Let me explain how this works. This is why I don't hire a coach. Some other coach is going to say, Jason, here's your program. I'm going to look at them and go, who the fuck are you to tell me how to lift? Who are you, motherfucker? That's going to be my response. And I'm going to fire them for trying to tell me what to do. Okay, now do you see why I'm not coachable? How well do you think that would work out? I'm a nice guy till you tell me what to do. I can be the nicest, kindest person you meet till you try to boss me around. You're not my boss. You're not paying me. You better give me some money with those orders. Okay, So I'm not coachable. And I don't need a coach. It's not necessary. Well, Chad Smith could probably take me, so I don't know. But I would probably, yeah, I'd be like, I would say it nicer to Chad though, because he's pretty big and strong and can fight. I might say it a little bit nicer to Chad. Okay. Let's get rid of this guy. This guy's annoying. All right. I don't know why you guys keep asking me about why I don't get someone to coach me. I've given you guys the same answer like 1,000 times. Let's be realistic. Okay. So, I personally always found, this is my back shows, I always found that straight bar extensions and bodyweight dips help my triceps a lot for bench. Never like skull crushers. I do my extensions with the straight bar right now. Zachary, I don't know any Pantera songs. Hold on. Let's see. What have we got? Let's come over and look at some music real quick. All right. I just pulled some stuff up. Hold on, let me try. I don't know any Pantera, but I at least know the rhythm to this song. So let me see if I can play it. All right, hold on. How does this go? How's that go? Yeah. So what do we got? We got the 1, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. Okay. All right. I had no practice of messing with any Pantera. Sorry. All right. That was supposed to be walk. All right. Hire Kenny Body, he'll get you eating one meal a day and calling yourself Bruce Wayne. Maybe. All right. Bob, sounds like you're scary when you're mad. Can you give me more advice on how to be more assertive? Just be assertive, man. I don't know, just be assertive. We just had Pantera. Channel your inner Pantera, man. Right? Channel your inner Pantera. That song Walk I was just playing. Go listen to Walk. There you go. You'll be good. Channel that. Be assertive. Cian says, do you think there is a radiant effect of muscles growth from leg-focused machines like belt squat and deep leg press into the lower back? No. All right. Azul says, this love, the middle riff is one of the best riffs ever. I know the song. I don't remember the riff. All right. Well, Rondo, there's a popular saying that I'm the coach. Rondo says there's a popular saying that if you can't take advice, you shouldn't give it. Except that this is my area of expertise, and I'm just not interested in all these clowns out here coaching. And my same thing is, it's kind of my pissed off response at people asking me, who would you have coach you, Jason? Jason, who would you have coach you to be better because you don't know enough at what you're doing? I don't need a coach. I'm not interested. It's like the most jerk off beta question you guys could possibly ask me. Hey, coach, who would you have coach you? I read it almost in like a high-pitched feminine voice when you guys type it. That's how it comes across to me. Come on. You planning on having Jamie Lewis back on at some point? No. Do you recommend starting martial arts to build confidence? I suppose you could, or you could. Have you tried working out? Bob, you know what I find helps build confidence? Getting under a heavy barbell. I mean, you could try martial arts too. But I would do this thing. There's this device we call a squat rack. And you put a barbell in it, and you get under a heavy ass bar, and you get progressively stronger at lifting at it. It will build your confidence. My back says, now that you're into bodybuilding, have dumbbell flies grown on you? Haven't seen the vlogs, but I prescribe them to some clients if they have a chest weakness. Coach Martin says, Coach, can I ask you a question? You just did, but you know what? You can ask me another one if you'd like. Jason, you think your physique is at an all-time peak right now? Yes, but it has a long way to go. If I sign up for coaching, can you use a Spartan helmet during the consultation? That's going to cost extra. All right. Can I mimic a Smith machine to hack squat and did not buy Smith machine? Hit my dad's also. I'm getting reverse hypertension on my birthday. I suppose you could mimic a Smith machine. I don't know, dude. Should athletes avoid machine training used strictly for years? No, not necessarily. Thoughts on Mark Ripto? That is a very, very nuanced question. Are we discussing his substantial contributions to getting people back under a barbell again, which have been enormous? Are we discussing his enormous contributions to getting novice lifters and grandmas and everyone in the gym? Those are massive. Are we going to discuss his horrifically bad, deadly nutrition advice that kills people and gives them diabetes? I mean, what thoughts are we looking for here? Dan says, arms looking huge, brother. What they measure these days must be 70, but they probably are 17 right now. I haven't checked. Bob, I haven't measured anything in a while. Limitless says, do you think Michael Hearn can win the Mr. Olympia? No, he's too pretty. To win the Mr. Olympia, you have to have a revolting, hideous physique. Mike doesn't have a revolting, hideous physique. The Olympia only rewards disgusting, gross, bloated synthol bodies. So how could someone who looks good possibly win it these days? The only way Michael Hearn can win the Mr. Olympia is if he gets a 55-gallon drum of oil and side enhances the hell out of himself everywhere. He has too much proportion and symmetry and aesthetics to be competitive in professional bodybuilding in 2024. You have to look repugnant and revolting with balls of oil in your lats the size of a bowling ball to where you can tell they have pinned, side enhanced their lats so bad that you can see it from the front. That is what's required to win the Mr. Olympia. That is clearly what they reward, like that guy they handed it to this time, literally with bowling ball sized balls of oil in his lats. Is for fucking revolting. So if he wants to win the Mr. Olympia, he needs to, I don't know, go find the Exxon Valdez or an oil tanker or something. All right, and quit looking good. I noticed the vlogs from Michelle are back. Does she back on Team Blaha for the long term? She's back for the long term. I like starting strict methodology for newbies, but all these programs and practical programming are very bare bones with no accessories. Feel like I don't like the programs of practical programming. And yes, I've read it. Cian says, leg curls have any benefit for squat and deadlift or more of an injury prevention and aesthetic? I think there can be carryover. But largely it's going to be aesthetic and just muscle balance. South Paul says, who is Mr. Olympia? I don't know the guy's name, but the guy had repugnant amounts of oil in his lats. I can't remember his name. All I know him as is oil tanker lat man. All right. All right. Which other clients will be in your client vlogs or the guy from a few streams ago? Um, I don't know. No, that guy didn't become. He was a troll. So you'll see what's coming in a stream. I gave a preview. He says Rick Pill's rants on politics and Texas secession are hilarious. I was unaware he was a Texas secessionist. I am actually not a Texas secessionist, believe it or not. Not that I don't fundamentally agree with the concept. I just think it's a bad idea. I don't think it would turn out well. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go further into it other than at this time, if it comes up to a vote, because it has been discussed in my state of Texas leaving at a popular vote. It's been proposed a number of times. I, at this time, would not vote for it. Not that I don't understand. I do understand the appeal. I just don't support it. Have you got any clients on Conjugate at the moment? Yeah, a couple. Southpaw says, why is Ice Cream Fitness called that? Say it out loud. Ice Cream Fitness. Dan says, why did Michelle leave Team Blaha? She never left my circle of friends, by the way, or giving her advice. Michelle left Team Blaha temporarily because she needed a bikini prep coach. She's not been as happy with what she got from that. So she is getting nutrition and posing coaching only for bikini. And I'm back to doing her lifting coaching. Clients will always come back on when they realize they aren't the professionals in the field they hired an expert in, Mikey and Emma. I would not rule that out. I am still in contact with them, by the way. Dorian is one of the few bodybuilders that with overall solid advice, and he didn't do just one set as you. I'm very aware of that. Yeah. Kumar says, what to do if I can't get abs? I've dieted down to 150, 200, and they're still not showing. Gain some muscle so that you can get leaner. You don't have any, but if you've dieted to 150 and you don't have abs, you haven't gained any muscle. Get under the bar, put some muscle on, then diet down. My back, I have no idea. Something must have happened. Jamie must have said something negative or something somewhere. And then, so that's why everyone's discussing it out of nowhere today. I don't know. No one told me about it. That would be my guess, because otherwise there wouldn't be like 10 questions about it randomly out of nowhere. Have you known a lot of bikini women? I know a lot of bikini and fitness models. Yes. Dude, Jamie is funny. Dan, I'm not going to go into what all's happened behind the scenes. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to badmouth people. Okay. I want to be clear. I'm not going to badmouth people. I think Jamie is funny as hell, by the way. I agree. The dude has a phenomenal sense of humor. Any other things besides the point, dude, Jamie has a legitimately funny sense of humor. Dude's hilarious. BF, what year did you start the own life coaching? It must have been a while now. Officially or unofficially? Meaning I've had clients forever. When did I open it up to my followers as an official position? 5 years ago, just over, something in the 5-year range, maybe a hair over. About 5 years ago, I started coaching, like where I opened it up to the public. I had clients the whole time. I've had clients for a decade online. I just never discussed it and never put up a price list and said, hey guys, I'm opening slots. So I opened up 5 slots to the public, and they filled up within 48 hours. They were full. What are your thoughts on powerlifters, early bloomers or late bloomers? And do you have late puberty they catch it? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no knowledge or experience of this. I've never coached athletes who are minors, so I couldn't tell you. Right. I have zero experience there. No, I have no interest in video gaming again. I feel like video gaming is honestly a waste of time. They could be used doing productive stuff, at least something that's a skill. So for me, all of my hobbies are a skill of some type. Like my Warhammer is a tactical side, but it's also a social game. But I spend more time painting, and you guys have seen my painting. So there's a painting skill to it. The guitar is a musical skill. So my hobbies are all skill based, something that helps develop a skill, right? Could high bar ask to go out squats be used for sets of 10 after the maximum conjugate? I've programmed it, Dan. You could, and some people do, and I've programmed it. Yeah. How come you got into competitive lifting? I didn't do it at such an older age. What are the certain difficulties that coaching people with below average genetics is considered more challenging? No, it's not harder at all. It's absolutely not harder. Coaching people with great genetics can be harder. There are problems with great genetics, especially fast twitch dominance. They get hurt easy. Especially if they go on their cell tech. It's a problem real fast. Pardon the pun, fast twitch. Okay. All right. No, people with below average genetics are not hard to train. They just get slower results. That's it. That's it. What are your thoughts on creatine's possible link to causing hair loss? I don't think that I believe in it. Hey, Kumar, I don't answer questions about my personal life. All right. Can reverse hyperextensions help my bottom position off squats like ass-to-grass squats? Probably not. Perina says, what do you mean when you say look at your back controls, comment on your range of motion on pull-ups, like look at yours? Well, two things, Perina. Number one, yes, look at my scapular position and realize I'm taking my scapula through their full range of motion. Number two, if I'm doing pull-ups incorrectly, my back wouldn't grow probably. I mean, we're at a point where people are like, but your back would grow even faster if you did them different. Number one, they don't have proof. Right? Number one, they don't have proof. And number two, we really think my back, which is already bigger than the rest of my muscles, somehow needs to magically grow faster. But again, they're not looking at the biomechanics either, right? They're not looking at the biomechanics and actually looking at my scapula and realizing I'm actually moving my lats through the full range of motion. Dan says, what accessories do you think would be good for no-gi submission grappling athletes, basically BJJ without the gi? Any deadlifts, any sort of fat bar work, pull-ups? Limitless, I don't have an answer to that question. There is not a direct correlation and carryover to that. What exercises made your arms specifically triceps? I'm going to go with tricep extensions. Do you take creatine now that you're not eating much red meat? I haven't been taking it lately. All right. Let's get into real questions. I feel like these same people are just asking almost borderline. I feel like they're trying to go somewhere trolling. All right, let's get into some of the good stuff. Instead of what's the most you've lifted? What's this? It's like, let's discuss stuff that's helpful to you guys. Let's get some interesting stuff because you guys already know what I lift. You watch my videos. Hey, Jason, how about your best squat on camera? Well, you can check my channel. I agree the biomechanics, but what about the progressive overload? Fair enough. I don't understand your question. What do you mean? I've had progressive overload over the years. I'm stronger at my ref work on pull-ups than I was years ago. Pretty straightforward. And my lats are bigger. Would there be a benefit in doing higher reps for combat athletes to build muscular endurance, or just focus on hypertrophy and get the muscular endurance from the BJJ itself? I think some higher rep work can be beneficial for the carryover to that. Kumar, I'm not going to answer people who are like, I don't like to squat and deadlift, man. I don't know that my advice would be the best for you. That just sounds lazy to me. Is the bias for long-headed tricep exercises by going overhead overrated, or do they still get hit hard on other extensions? I think it's overrated, right? I think it's overrated. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but a lot of other stuff can probably grow the long head just as much. Limitless says, is there a reason people say don't eat before you go to the gym? Because I have no idea why they're telling you that. How did you build such a massive yoke? By lifting weights. Dan, I've discussed in detail why I quit pushing certain things way back. Just overall was not ideal for my health. There's a point where I have to step back and go, certain things are not worth it. And it's not the lifting, it's just all the stuff around it. Paris is like, what is your metric for lat growth progress? Well, it could be progressive overload. It could also be turning and looking in the mirror and going, damn, my lats are getting big. In my case, it's kind of like I turn around, if you guys see on some of the footage, and I'm kind of like my lats need their own zip code at this point. They're bigger than everything else on my body. I need to probably balance this a little better. I know you don't like the Smith machine, but thoughts on getting a Smith machine just to say you have it? I mean, you could if you wanted a good boat anchor or something. You know, say, hey, man, I got this Smith machine that I like to use as a boat anchor. I mean, if you just like to throw away money. I don't understand your question about Dave Palumbo raising it. That's not useful or helpful. My back, I just answered that already. Well, BF says, well, having a large high carb and protein meal just before bed affect fat loss? Yes, calorie intake will affect fat loss. Bob says, any advice to make your chest sag as much as an older man? I'm starting. Not probably just do lots of incline work. Do you still ride the recumbent bike when painting or doing other hobbies, thinking of buying one just so I can get? Well, since you asked, now we just need to get this camera back where it was. All right. So what did you see on top of the recumbent bike? You saw a bunch of paints. I think that sums up the question. Who's next for the client vlogs? We got one coming, don't we? You'll see. My back says, thoughts on Jeff Nichols saying the Smith machine incline is better for regular because of the fit. Why would that be better? Dude, I think the barbell incline rocks. I think it's one of the best lifts you can possibly do with a straight up barbell. Sorry, BF says, sorry, I meant to say in a deficit daily, but eating. So are you asking if eating a high carb meal before bed, if you're still in a calorie deficit, will hurt fat loss? The answer is no. Bob, I'm not interested in doing that. Dan says, I love it. Cardio while playing video games has been a game changer. I can, now that's more viable. Kumar, you see me on my vlogs training in just shorts every day. You saw me walking around doing curls in just a pair of running shorts today. You've already got a physique update. You get one Monday through Friday in the weight room. All right. Dan says, I know powerlifters are stronger on rep max. That is what strength is. Strength is measured as a longer rep max. Bodybuilders who are actually big tend to be pretty strong, though. Dan says, why are you so fantastic, awesome, and truthful and underrated influencer? Dan, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude. Push-pull legs once a week, training 3 days, good for hypertrophy. No, dude, I think that works great. I have clients on that exact split. My back says, I simply don't know why. Why are people with good genetics have increased risk on special supplements? You're the one who mentioned it. The speed strength. People who are fast twitch dominant, when they go on stuff that makes those fast twitch muscle fibers grow even faster, are at higher risk of tearing tendons if they're not careful. Bob, obviously that happens. You shouldn't even need to ask. Be realistic, dude. Max says, what's some home gym equipment you wish you would have bought sooner? Currently debating on spending on an SSB. Currently have a reverse. Dude, oh man. Well, you got the stuff. Like the reverse hyper I would have bought sooner. Right? The reverse hyper straight up. And after that, you're golden. Once you've got a good rack and adjustable bench, a really good barbell, and a reverse hyper, everything else is kind of optional from there. No, I'm streaming on a webcam, dude. You're going to play the new, I don't play video games anymore. I play Warhammer Tabletop. All right. I don't know why this girl guy's accusing me of bashing a veteran. I can't think of any veterans I have actually bashed. Unless I bashed someone who I did not know they were a veteran specifically. But off the top of my head, I cannot think of a single veteran that I have actually got up and bashed anywhere. And I could be wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be some people I've slammed in the past who were, and I just didn't know it. But I'm legitimately unaware of it. Fairness, no, you didn't get banned. No, Kumar, I'm not going to sit here and take my shirt off. Do you like Frank Zane training? I don't remember anything about Frank Zane's training to be able to answer that. Sorry. Do you regret buying all those specialty bars? I regret some of the specialty bars. Yeah, I really need to sell some of them. I just haven't gotten around to it. Worst gym investment you've made besides the trap bar? The trap bar. Oh, Bob says maybe Alan Thrall. Yeah. Yep, because Alan Thrall did some shameful stuff. And I'm not going to rehash all of that. But I'm quite frankly shocked because I believed, okay, I guess I falsely believed. I thought Alan Thrall had a lot more integrity than apparently he does. I thought he had way more honor and integrity than he does. So, and I'm not going to rehash all of it again. I'm going to leave it alone and just leave it at that. I actually made the assumption that because of the specifics of what he did in the military, that he was a man of great honor. I guess I misunderstood some things. Do you think Frank Colombo is the most impressive bodybuilder? How are we defining impressive? Dan says there are 3 week waves for speed work necessary. Could you just keep it at a percentage? You can keep it constant. What's your opinion on weighted carries, more specifically heavier farmers walks closer to it? That's tough if you're getting that heavy, but I think it could be useful. Yeah. Have not heard Frank Tufano's name in many, many years, and I don't really care to. Dan, I have covered in vast detail in those videos what happens to excess carbohydrates that are consumed. Dan, I know, right? They're over here. Wow, why are you guys trying to pay for it? I'm telling you, dude, I swear I should start an OnlyFans at this point. I had one of my clients, she told me, she's like, Coach, you should totally start an OnlyFans. I bet you'd make at least $5-10 grand a month. I'm like, oh my God. All right. My Bax's honor is overrated, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. No, Taylor, I will not be discussing gear use at all. Rondo says you can tell a lot about the company, which people keep, which says a lot about how, and that was what it came down to. I'm not going to go into the specifics. I just don't feel like hashing it out again. It was all out there. There's just a point where I'm just going to leave it alone. My back because the guy, no, I'm not going to unban him. No, because he said other stuff saying my programs don't work and they're bad. No, I'm not doing it. Nope. I don't think so. Do natty lifters need to do comparatively more shoulder and upper back work than enhanced lifters because no subs? No, those areas just might grow. So they don't necessarily need to do more. They could just train balance and proportion and just train those areas really hard, right? And just get what you get. Dan, a lot of things happen with excess carbohydrate. It's usually exothermic effect. NEAT becomes a big deal. When it was studied in the lab, things like NEAT, thermic effect, thyroid output, everything go through the roof. They absolutely go through the roof. So you end up burning it off as excess body heat through a number of different pathways. Now, when that happens, you store every drop of fat that you eat, though. Well, I switched to OnlyFans because people make real money on OnlyFans. I tried Patreon. It was not even worth the efforts. What are my favorite songs to play on the guitar? I don't know. I'm not really sure. What we got? Hold on. That's an important. All right, cool. That was actually an important text. All right. Get rid of that. Can you get a mount by Sevies at least? Kumar, just for you, dude, I'm going to give you a mount by Sevies. You ready for it? Oh, mount by Sevies. You happy now? Are you content as a follower now? Dan Crick said my favorites are paranoid. You said your favorites are paranoid. Let's get rid of this guy first. Yeah, if you know good and well they are not going to have the balls to confront me face to face. They know I be strapped 24/7. That doesn't sound right without an amp. Of course, we didn't have an amp for that. So you asked about paranoid. Oh, wait, I got to go back to the main riff after that. It goes. Okay. All right. That's good enough. All right. So, yes, I do know the song Paranoid. All right. Will you ever do recommend yoga? Probably not, no. Dan says, why do you do your painting sitting on the bike and sitting at the table? Because I like sitting on the bike, Dan. Dan, because I like it. Right? I mean, that's a fair answer. Dude, I like showing up on the bike, doing my painting thing. Bro, I'll be all like, hold on. I have to take my glasses off when I paint. I mean, you guys wouldn't even enjoy watching it. Right? It literally just looks like this when I'm doing it, right? So it's just like I'm over here, glasses off. He got my knees up like this, and I'm over here just going, got to do all the little edge highlighting. And I'd be like, all the little edge highlighting. Like this, all it looks like when I do it. Like it would be so boring for you guys to watch. But I'd be making shit like this, right? You can't see this on here because this is not an HD cam, so you can't see the detail, but I took second place at a painting contest with this. Yeah, you can't see the detail at all. This is Bellacore, the Dark Master. See if we can get it in closer. Yeah, you still can't see the detail. And then I have Eternus. Let's see if we can see him okay. Yeah, same thing. The detail's just not good enough on this cam. I've got some HD pictures of it, but even my friends have said it still doesn't look like in person. Same thing, like you can't even see like all those banners, all that cloth. There's 4 different colors of red layered into that, like wet layers. You can kind of see some of the dry brushing of the skull stuff. How long? This is about 12 hours. Dan, a lot of girls play actually, but the painting is cool. Women appreciate the painting part. They don't necessarily like the game, but honestly, I find these days about a third of the players I know are women. Now, that being said, I also play the guitar. Kind of makes up for it. Right? I mean, put that into context. I play the guitar, and I was playing the guitar in high school. Right? I mean, it works. All you got to do is play a few riffs, a few notes, and they'd be like, oh, wow. You got to be like, that's all you got to do, man. My back, I am phenomenal at time management. As I don't do any airbrushing. It is all detail brushes. Okay. All right. We are at 1:01. It's time to wind this down, guys. I'm gonna wind it down. So I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals. And I will talk to you guys next time.